Hey everybody, I finally got the 57 Rat Rod done. It was quite a fun build. I got to test out some of the methods that I've wanted to do and see how hard they were and how well I can do them. It's a lot of fun. It gives me a bit of appreciation for some of those builds out there when you get to see them. You go, man, that guy actually did that really well. That's actually not easy to do. So it gives me a little bit more respect for them people that do this all the time and actually do a very well job. But this is my 57 custom Rat Rod, kind of like a barn find. Guy's trying to restore it some, and he got it to the point where he actually could enjoy it and drive it around, race it on the track. I did go with the higher front end, so it's kind of like a gasser. It's not really, but it's kind of jacked up like one. It don't have the straight axle or nothing like that. And in this kit they kind of mimicked a more modern suspension, so I went with the parts on that to look newer and with the chassis kind of rusty. So it looks like he's putting money into the spots just to get it going. Has a little bit of money in the body and a lot of money in the engine. So on these tail lights, those are the custom options, and the headlights are also the custom bezel, so that way they're kind of Frenched or so. And put a little bit of primer there. So he shaved the door handles and did a newer looking trunk, like he put a new trunk in it. Multicolored grill, so it looks like he put the grill together by multiple parts. So if I ever get a 57 Chevy, more than likely this will be what it looks like, because I ain't going to be able to afford one that's done. It'll be a Rat Rod, especially here in Ohio. All that salt heating them up. So that's what the body looks like. If I pop the hood, so on the hood, on the engine, I did some wiring. So this has that really cool supercharger, and I wired up the carburetors. I didn't do them so they're perfect, but it looks like kind of like a shade tree mechanic did it. So I got the wiring here. The brake master cylinder actually came in a different kit, and I did the brake lines. I got a coil in there. Kind of an awkward fit because it wasn't designed to have one in there, so it's a little bit snugged in there. And here you actually can see I just put some electric wires in there, and they come across the front and they go down. Those are made out of fabric thread, and I just super glued them all here, tacked them there, and then Mod Podged them, or diluted Mod Podge down on this side. Give them a little bit of look. I used a Tamiya powdered, it kind of looks like makeup for models. I did that in there. It's like a soot, and they also have the grease or oil. I can't remember exactly what it's called. So I did that in there. And I also did some washes. So there's some black washes in there. So I didn't want the engine to look rusty or anything like that, because of course he would have worked on that, built that, put it in. And so I do have a battery wire in there. I did have one for the neutral line, but the wire I used was different than this one. That didn't want to bend right, so I had to find one to put in there. but I'll have to find one at that time. I also did wire the spark plugs, so I got a distributor in there, and I got them wired in, but it is such a big tight fit in there you can't really see it, but it's in there. So under the hood I did a little bit of weathering too, not a whole lot, just some. For the bottom, like I said, I kept this stuff with just a black wash to symbolize that it is replaced parts, and all the rest is kind of rusty looking and all that, and just a little bit of a black wash on that as well, just to show that it is kind of a new part, and it's newer than the rest of the body. So there's that. But like I showed in the other video, I got this drilled out. I put a dent in there, flared it out a little bit, and then I got all the holes there for the trim. Same with that fender. And then I have a dent in here, and then this is kind of flared out from being dented. It kind of made it look like it's got more of a deep rust to it. But for anybody who has wanted to always try to do this, my suggestion is to try it. We all got those kits that lack detail. We got those kits that didn't cost too much money, and you never know, you might have a lot of fun, because this was a lot of fun for me. It was something I always wanted to do, and I finally did it, and I'm very happy I did. So kind of a little challenge up for you guys. Even though it's a rust bucket, I sure would like to have this car in person. Driving it to the cruising days. Another thing I didn't talk about was these back tires. They have those one-piece plastic backs. I end up cutting all the material out and then gluing it in place, so that way you can see through them. Adds a lot to the look. I also have valve stems on these. Right, there's one of the valve stems. There's another valve stem. You can barely see it, but I know it's there. Super easy to do. So one thing I'll show you real quick. So say if you got a wheel rim like this, just pick a spot that you're going to find with all of them. Drill a hole that's just big enough for your wire to go through. So I got some wire like this, so you drill your hole just big enough for that. Cut your piece. Cut your piece about that long. Bend it in a 90. Put it through that hole so it's poking through, and then have your flat side on the inside of the rim. Super glue it down. Let it dry. Put your wheel over it. And then just take a little fine paintbrush and paint that tip black. Like I said, don't always see them, but when somebody is looking at your models and then they realize it's there, they'll be quite surprised. That's a nice little feature to it. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments. Give me a good thumbs up if you like it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See ya.